Hi, I'm Mel. I'm from Culture Bridge North East and I'm the Artsmark lead. Setting out on your Artsmark journey is really exciting. You've been to your development day and you've got lots of ideas and you're ready to get going. But when it comes to writing the statement of commitment, then it can be a bit daunting because there's so much to say and knowing where to begin can be hard. So we're going to go through writing the statement of commitment step by step and help you build the foundations for your Artsmark adventure. The statement of commitment prompts you to think honestly about where you are as a whole setting when it comes to the arts and where you want to be in the future. So you need to show the link between your arts planning and provision and the long-term strategy and vision of your setting as a whole. When you reach the end of your Artsmark journey and the assessors decide which level to award you, they will look at your statement of commitment and your statement of impact written at the end, side by side, to see how far you've travelled. So all your evidence needs to be in both of those documents. Remember that the assessors will be looking at your application through two lenses: the 8 Artsmark criteria listed in the self-assessment framework and the 7 quality principles. So use the language of the criteria and the quality principles in your answers to keep them at the forefront.
Hello, I'm Charlotte Jones. I coordinate the arts across 2 adjacent middle schools in Morpeth, Chantry and Newminster. We're quite unusual in being separate schools but located next to each other on the same site. Our schools are part of the Three Rivers Learning Trust, which also has first schools and high school within its 3-tier system. Putting the child first is at the centre of the Trust's vision and ethos. The arts are at the heart of the curriculum, and our Artsmark journey to platinum level has made a major contribution in our core aims of integrity, inclusion and innovation. Completing the Artsmark Statement of Commitment helps the schools to understand where they have got to, where any gaps are, and what more we should aspire to achieve. This makes planning far more focused on consolidating existing strengths and thinking about new initiatives.
Use a maximum of 150 words to describe the context of your setting here. So are you in a rural or an urban location? How many students attend? Does your setting have a specialism? Do your students have any particular needs? Include anything that you feel will help the assessors to understand your own unique environment. There are 6 questions altogether, but you don't have to complete them in order. In fact, you might find it easier to start with question 3 and then 1 as they look at where you are now. Use the self-assessment framework to structure your answer to question 3. Look carefully at each of the 8 criteria and highlight where you meet each one to give you an idea of where your strengths and weaknesses lie. Then, when writing your answer, talk about the work that you've done against each of the criteria, choosing the richest examples to demonstrate each one. Remember that the assessors will refer back to the self-assessment framework as they read your statement of commitment, so you need to refer to all the criteria for them to be able to gain a full picture of your setting. Be honest in what you're saying here about your areas for development as well as your strengths. These weaker areas will be the things that you focus on in your action plan for question 4, so it's absolutely fine to highlight the areas you want to develop.
Question 3 is about how well you are doing and what needs to be done in terms of development. In our case for Platinum Artsmark, we talked about how we had worked to consolidate and develop further from achieving Artsmark Gold status in 2015. Key to this was how we continued to strive to extend and enhance provision in the arts, and we were able to talk about our collaboration with other organisations, both local and national. The question helped us identify a target area for improvement. The strong partnerships that we had developed with schools within the Trust and other organisations, such as further education colleges and galleries, have been crucial in achieving increased levels of student engagement in the arts. Significant national events such as Sign to Sing and Comic Relief have provided opportunities for whole school involvement.
For question 1, think about how the arts are important to your setting's provision and ethos. You need to think about the whole setting in your answer, so not just the art or the music department. What are the values and ethos of your setting? What are your key achievements in the arts? And most importantly, why do you do what you do? What is the difference that you believe that the arts makes? How do you weave the arts into teaching and throughout the whole atmosphere of your setting, and what are the benefits that this brings? Then describe your future plans to develop this. You'll go into more detail about this later.
So the arts support our school's core values. Question 1 has helped us to think about broadening the experience of students, supporting social, moral, spiritual and cultural learning. The arts play a crucial part in the whole child development approach. In addition to the wide range of opportunities for student involvement, Arts Awards provide a structured basis for developing skills and harnessing interests. The views of students about their experiences in the arts has helped us to develop our offerings. In question 1, we were able to look at how we were doing and talk about our ambitious plans to improve the quality of provision.
You've started to talk about your future whole setting plans in the second part of question 1, and now it's time to go into more detail and think about what impact you want to see Artsmark making on your school. Where do you want to be by the time you write your statement of impact? Questions 2 and 4 will help you articulate this. Question 2 asks you to set your arts development in the context of whole setting improvement. The key to success with Artsmark, and the way to make it most useful to you, is in the way that you integrate it into the wider priorities for your setting. The self-assessment framework states that to be working at silver level for leadership, Artsmark should be clearly outlined in your development or improvement plan, and all staff should understand the ambitions for arts and culture. Also think about how the arts can help to deliver your wider whole setting goals. For example, are you looking to diminish the difference between certain groups of students? Do you have a whole setting focus on literacy? Do you want to improve cultural capital or try to develop more community cohesion? Artsmark can help with all of these. At this stage, it's crucial that the senior leadership team are part of discussions around these priorities. Don't try to answer this question on your own. And remember, it's better to focus on 1 or 2 priorities rather than trying to do everything at once.
Question 2 focuses on whole school development, and for us it was about how our plans for the arts would dovetail into and shape the strategic plans for the Trust and our 2 middle schools. Crucial to this is that the personal development benefits of Artsmark enhance the spiritual, moral and cultural development of pupils as recognised by Ofsted. In question 2, we talked about how confidence building through the arts was inspiring students to participate to their full potential. Arts Awards can help to raise aspirations, and Artsmark provides opportunities for staff to take risks, and it also provides CPD opportunities.
Now it's time for some action planning with question 4. You've thought about your school improvement plan priorities, you've identified gaps using the self-assessment framework, and we've thought about the quality principles. Finding the common ground between these 3 things will ensure that the work that you do brings quality arts experiences to your students, that will have impact where it's needed the most, and that will help you develop your practice and pedagogy as a whole setting. Looking at your answers to questions 1, 2 and 3, can you identify 1 or 2 clear aims for your Artsmark journey? Now break it down into steps. How long do you think it will take you to get to the end point? Remember that you have up to 2 years from submitting your statement of commitment to complete your journey and submit your statement of impact. What will your first steps be? What do you still need to do to gain a full picture of where you currently are and what you need to focus your efforts on? You have an opportunity now to involve all the staff in your setting so that everyone has ownership of the Artsmark journey. So think about steering groups, whole staff planning sessions, CPD opportunities, or whatever else might work best for you. How often will your planning sessions need to take place, and how will you keep momentum going? Also think about partnerships in your answer to this question. Who do you need to work with you who can help you? Other cultural organisations or other schools and settings?
Question 4, we were able to think very hard about different elements of our action plan. For us, the overall aim is to bring as many students as possible into arts activities, particularly those who are not frontline, such as actors and musicians. In music, for example, we are developing a timeline of objectives outlining expectations and outcomes for the music curriculum from first school to high school. We talked about all elements of the action plan in question 4, ranging from partnership development and funding to team building and CPD.
Now think about what you need to get you to where you want to be to help you answer question 5. Think about the practicalities of what you're setting out to achieve. This question is where you'll think about the support that you need and what you have to build into your plans to give the greatest chance of success. What help do you need to achieve everything that you've set out in questions 2 and 4? How will this work be funded? Is there budget set aside? Will you need to allocate some specific staff meetings or inset days for arts-based CPD or planning time related to your Artsmark objectives? When will activity take place, and will timetable changes be needed to accommodate what you want to do? What external support do you need? Remember that Culture Bridge North East offers support and training opportunities, and that there's a network of arts and cultural organisations who are registered as Artsmark partners who can all help you.
Question 5 is about support for Artsmark, and in our case, we were able to go into more detail about how creative arts activities are funded. We talked about how our trust ensures the financial viability of the creative arts activities and how internal art skills and knowledge can be supplemented by bringing in expertise from outside organisations to enrich the student experience. We have found that a wide variety of expertise can be brought in through collaboration, offering mutual benefits at no additional cost to either party.
Finally, how will you know what success will look like for you, and what evidence are you going to need to collect along the way? This question is about making sure you are really clear about what you are wanting to achieve, so that you will know how to recognise it and where to look for signs of success. Make your goals specific, thinking about the outcomes you want and what these will look like. You need to link your answer to this question with your answer to question 4. For example, if you are looking at developing CPD opportunities, first think about why you are doing this. Is it to increase the number of opportunities available to teachers, increase staff confidence, or to improve pupils' experiences? Being clear about the why helps you to know which evidence to collect. This can be qualitative or quantitative, so could be notes from conversations with pupils, observations from teachers, feedback from parents, staff meeting schedules, as well as data tracking attainment or attendance. Taking the time now to think about the evidence you will need to collect along the way will make writing your statement of impact at the end of your journey much simpler. Now is the time to collect baseline evidence if you want to be able to demonstrate how far you have travelled in your statement of impact. Remember that a range of voices helps to strengthen your position. So how can you collect evidence from pupils, staff and parents to track your progress and measure impact? What is the big picture story that you want to be able to tell? And how can you make sure you're collecting parts of this story all the way along rather than waiting until the end?
The arts add a unique dimension to school life. Showcasing and celebrating the arts has a special ability to inspire students. Artsmark and the Statement of Commitment are hugely valuable in terms of spreading the word, increasing participation, and most importantly, formulating a plan to increase and sustain impact. My top tips for schools making the journey are: set goals, innovate, involve, make things happen, learn and build momentum, and enjoy your Artsmark journey.
So here are our top tips for writing your statement of commitment. Use the self-assessment framework to evaluate, plan and reflect throughout your journey. Use the quality principles to guide your planning and thinking. Keep impact at the forefront. Why are you doing this? How will you know if you've been successful, and what measurement tools will you use? Remember that Artsmark is about your whole setting. Partnerships are important. Find people and organisations who can help you get to where you want to be. Get a colleague to read through your statement of commitment. Can they find evidence of the self-assessment criteria and the quality principles in your writing? Get the nuts and bolts right. Make sure you have included the full name of your setting and your DFE number, and that the head teacher and chair of governors have approved the finished document. Keep an eye on word count, 500 words per question as a maximum. Your Artsmark journey is about an honest assessment of the role that the arts plays for you and the impact that they have on students, staff, and the whole setting. The Statement of Commitment is a reflective, formative document. Use it to tell the beginning of this story. What are you already good at? What could you be even better at? And how are you going to make this change? Your Artsmark journey is an opportunity for your whole setting to learn and grow. Make the most of the support available from Culture Bridge North East and from our delivery partners, The Forge. And most of all, enjoy the process.